Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Detective Ridiculous. I am one of your hosts, Bricky. I have a co-host. His name is DK. Is that true?
Hi.
I don't know. Did he escape from prison? Possibly. And he's going to be teaching you about the only thing worse than Warhammer, real life. Before we get into that, we need to thank all the wonderful people at the Patreon. And for those of you are the reason why we make these episodes. Because of your generosity and your support on the original ones, these bonus episodes are entirely thanks to your support, and we thank you greatly. Check it out in the description, all the fun benefits that the Patreon comes with. Also, do make sure to check out the merchandise over at orchidate.com down in the description. If you want some Detective Ridiculous merch, maybe we'll make something like that one day. It'd be kind of fun.
Maybe, yeah. Leave it in the comments. Do you want Detective Ridiculous merch? If so, I don't know. Maybe we'll think about it.
Well, if so, I hear an idea. What kind of idea you got for that? Like what kind of merch we talking here, Dave?
Yeah. What do you want, guys? What do you want? And Shy will read the comments. We won't, but Shy will forward us the good ideas. Yeah.
Yeah, that's Shy's job.
Yeah.
What do you want, DK?
Shy.
What do you want for Christmas?
What do I want for Christmas? I would like a normal life for Christmas, Santa.
Well, today we're not discussing normal lives.
Actually, we kind of are.
Really?
Sorta. Well, I mean, we're gonna be about as normal as Detective Ridiculous possibly can be in the face of true crime. So,
I don't know how I feel about that.
So, yeah. Anyway, merch ideas. Leave them in the comments.
All right.
Yeah,
DK, what do you got?
I want one monocle for merch, so we can just anyway. So today's episode of Detective Ridiculous is gonna be a little more on the lighthearted side, a little less soul-crushingly depressing, like the last couple episodes. It also might be a little bit shorter than usual, but considering the last episode, I think, went for almost 2 hours, I think we're all okay with maybe a little bit of a shorter episode. So, what we are dealing with today is the self-proclaimed Crocodile of Wall Street.
The what?
The Crocodile of Wall Street. The self-proclaimed Crocodile of Wall Street.
What?
Heather Morgan and her husband, Ilya Lichtenstein.
I hate her outfit.
Oh, my friend, you have not begun to hate Heather Morgan. Trust me.
I don't like her husband that much either. I don't like his face. He looks weird.
Well, you know what? Let's learn a little bit about these two, huh? Before we talk about...
I want to body shame him.
Any sort of fucky-wuckies that might have happened. Let's talk about Heather Morgan and Ilya Lichtenstein.
Very well.
So, on the surface, Heather Morgan and Ilya Lichtenstein seem like a pretty normal couple. They're a little quirky, but aren't we all? Heather Morgan spent a good chunk of her early life traveling the world. She moved to Japan, she's visited Hong Kong, she's traveled to Turkey, she attended an American school in Cairo after getting her graduate degree in international economics after getting a bachelor's degree from UC Davis. She was in this tiny-ass town in Northern California. It's this little nowheresville, middle-of-nowhere town called Tehama, with a population of just over 500 people. Everybody knows everybody there. In school, she was bullied relentlessly because she was pretty smart, so people thought she was maybe a little holier than thou, and she had a slight lisp to her voice, so the kids bullied her just mercilessly because of this. According to Forbes, And in an interview she did, I think it was just on one of her YouTube videos, she said when she became vocal about her ambitions and desires to leave this little podunk California town in the middle of nowhere and go to a bigger high school, one of her teachers and also the principal of the school told her that she might be a big fish in a little pond here, but if she went out to the ocean, she just might drown. So you can see why Heather Morgan would want to just break out of this shithole and experience the world on a grander scale.
Sounds got kind of a, is it humorous timing to bring up my warp suck theory with this drowning statement?
Your warp-based suck theory and
My
the ocean?
warp, it was pretty based.
It was pretty based. It was based in entertainment. I'll give you that. But I mean, she's not really drawing anything from this ocean, so I don't think the suck-based warp theory applies here. Sorry.
Oh, all right. Damn. Thank God.
Yeah, it's okay. Through all of this, Heather realizes that she has, quite the penchant and skill for business, marketing, and selling. And so she decides to become something of an entrepreneur. She even recalls that in her 20s, she was already out negotiating and outselling proper and well-experienced businessmen. So she kind of knows what she's doing in the business world, and to her credit, again, actually pretty smart. And as someone who would go on to become interested in tech startups and in business in general, of course, she ends up in the Bay Area in Silicon Valley.
Ah.
Ah.
Yeah. I don't particularly like the Bay Area very much.
Ah, okay. So just a dig at the Bay Area in general, which is, yeah. I used to live in Los Gatos. It's kind of a hoity-toity area. That's fair. That's fair.
That's a hoity-toity area, but San Francisco also has a real. I mean, besides the cost of living, which is astronomical.
Yeah.
I think it's the most expensive city in the U.S. or area in the U.S.
That doesn't surprise me. Big, coastal, well-known city in California. Yeah, checks out.
Yeah, but like, more than like New York, like shit.
That's true.
All right, continue.
Anyway, so she finds herself working for someone named Hussam Hamo, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, who is trying to start up a gaming company called Tamatem. And while her relationship with old Hamo was a little on the rocky side and she wasn't being paid well, Heather found that there was the benefit of she was making a ton of connections for free because she was in charge of pitching this gaming company to corporations. So she got a lot of connections in the tech gaming world. And her soon-to-be husband, Ilya Lichtenstein, was born in Rostov, Russia. And he was also a bit of an out... What happened? What happened?
No, as in like the name. Just,
oh, yeah. But he's a bit of an outcast as well. He's a techie guy that also loves his video games. He described himself in an article as being a huge geek, captain of the math team in Quiz Bowl, and had been known to date a few girls that were out of his league. That was his own description of himself. So Ilya is a little quirky, kind of weird, but just like Heather. So he would eventually graduate from the University of Wisconsin with a degree in psychology, apparently. Despite being into all this tech stuff, he gets his degree in psychology. It's not what I expected from this huge tech geek, but it is what it is.
It's fine. It's fine. I think psychology is a genuinely common field-ish. Maybe not.
I suppose so. I mean, I remember taking a couple psychology classes in college. I enjoyed them. They're fun. They're interesting. I don't know what you're going to do with it, but, although as someone with a creative writing degree, I can't really, make fun of someone else's, what are you going to do with your degree when you get out of college? Because I'm an internet idiot, So
As someone who didn't graduate college, I agree.
yeah, so I guess don't throw stones when you live in glass houses, right?
I don't live in a glass house.
It's a metaphor.
I met a what?
Forget it. Meta this, meta that. Have you ever met a fucking woman?
Absolutely not.
Same. So eventually, Ilya would move out to San Francisco with a hope and a dream. Quite literally leaving everything behind. He'd leave behind his girlfriend, he would sell all of his belongings, wave goodbye to all of his family, and zoom! Off he went to hopefully make a fortune in the tech industry. And according to Forbes, who easily had the best, most descriptive article on this topic, and it was the only place I could find any decent information on Ilya, he would then start to work on numerous online ventures, stuff like dating sites, and he was trying to sell brain supplements and just weird little online startup projects like that. But most notably, he would start working on a project called MixRank, which was some kind of like data-based marketing thing that I'm just too stupid to even try to explain what it actually is.
Is it like does it take like SEO kind of stuff and like help advertise and the like, or
Look, man, all
it
I
says
could find
marketing.
was that it was data-based marketing. That
Well, it
this
sounds
is
pretty
what
based.
I know about it, and but apparently this mix rank got real successful because they actually end up getting funding for their company from good old Mark Cuban.
Oh
One of-
shit!
Yeah, one of the sharks. So good for them, I suppose. So database marketing. Apparently, MixRank knew what they were doing. He would eventually meet Heather when doing sort of this almost like TED Talk thing for 500 startups, which is sort of like a venture fund accelerator program. And he was discussing how he got started, how he became successful, that sort of thing. And while listening to this sort of TED Talk thing, Heather becomes absolutely enamored with him. And the two started dating in 2013, followed by Heather moving into Ilya's high-rise San Francisco apartment. And Heather would then create her own company called Salesfolk, which was apparently sort of this, like, email marketing thing. Like, so they would provide you with these customized email templates that I guess they would sell to companies, and they could use that to, like, cold market customers. So it's kind of like cold calling.
When was
email.
this? When was this company again?
2013-ish?
Okay,
2014-ish?
the pictures you sent me of them look very high quality and recent, you know. So okay, so 2013.
Oh yeah, so those pictures that Shy put in the Discord are probably a little more on the recent side.
Okay, well that's good because because I only know things by Call of Duty years. So that's, I think, Call of Duty Ghosts.
Wow. All right.
2009 was Modern Warfare 2.
Okay, I did not know this little tidbit about you, and I will not judge you for it. Certainly,
Thank
I
you.
will not.
Except for the wow I just heard, you fucker.
But so yeah, she starts this cold email marketing email template company, which I didn't know was a thing. I didn't know was a thing companies wanted, but apparently it is. The two would become so close in the following years that Ilya would eventually leave his company MixRank, which was an absolute atom bomb to all of his colleagues because the company was doing really well and it was like super profitable. But he had been consulting and helping Heather so much with getting Salesfolk going and everything that I guess he decided that he was just gonna put all of his time, effort, and skills into just helping her as much as he possibly could. Also, something to put a pin in for later, Heather was also a somewhat regular contributor for articles on Forbes.com. She wrote several articles as like her experience as a businesswoman, how to use social media, but most notably, she wrote an article about how companies could avoid falling victim to and protecting themselves from online scams, cyber attacks, and cyber criminals in general.
Okay.
But before we get to that glaringly obvious Dean Kamen,
Yes.
we cannot talk about the crocodile of Wall Street, Heather Morgan and Ilya Lichtenstein, without talking about Heather Morgan's TikTok rapping career.
Oh, fucking Christ.
And I shit you not, this is 100% a thing, and oh yes, it is 100% as bad as it sounds.
It is as cringe as I think it's gonna be.
Oh, you bet. Heather Morgan took on the stage name Razzlecon, which is apparently supposed to be like Genghis Khan, but with more pizzazz, with more razzle-dazzle. Although, to be fair, in all fairness to Heather, I think the reasoning for her becoming a rapper is actually kind of cool. Because like we said before, she had this slight lisp, and she was bullied relentlessly because of it in school. She had braces from the age of 12 until she went to college. So she's naturally, like, really, really self-conscious about her voice. And to be willing to, like, shed those insecurities about her voice and to be confident enough to put herself out there as a rapper on a platform like TikTok, that's actually kind of dope.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. All right, all right.
That's fair. I'll give credit where credit is due. Take some balls. She was a big fan of the Lonely Island Boys and Lil Dicky. She was known to just kind of, you know, break into some freestyle for her friends and families. I mean, she was big into the genre. It was actually one of her songs, Versace Bedouin, that she infamously referred to herself as the Crocodile of Wall Street.
Okay, so I... Oh, do I have to react to her track live?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Okay. Let me back this up real quick. Two things.
Okay.
One, when I saw her in that first photo you posted, my first thought was, damn, the jacket she's wearing looks like one of those over-the-top tacky fucking Versace things. And now that I scroll down, I'm like, Also, can I just say, you said that she would occasionally break out into freestyle in front of her family
and friends, yeah.
We all knew someone like that, and they all fucking suck.
Yeah, it's really bad, dude. There's nothing I can adequately compare it to. In order to make you understand how bad these raps are, you just gotta go in, dude.
All right, I'm gonna click play in 3, 2, 1, and it is starting.
All right.
Oh. Oh.
The pain groans. They sustain me.
Oh, this sounds like it was written by like one of those AIs on Reddit.
There's no rhythm. It's all just being read like it was from a script.
There's no emotion. It is deadpan. Oh my god, the crocodile sounds. Oh, she's. Oh my. Oh, I can't. I'm stopping. I can't do this anymore.
I have to ask, how far did you make it? How far about? So about like 30 to a minute?
About 56 seconds.
That's about how long I made it to. I'm gonna be honest with you. I made it about a minute. I was like, I gotta stop. I know this is the bit for Detective Ridiculous, but oh man, I can't listen to the whole thing.
Yeah. Okay.
So, not exactly great, but she got a bit of a following on TikTok. She got a bit of a following. So now we know a little bit about these two. Yeah, you can't watch the music video, unfortunately, because apparently she copyright claimed it. So
Oh,
it's not
she's still alive.
She's still alive. Absolutely.
Okay. This show is,
I know. I don't blame you for thinking like, oh man, she might this true crime story might have ended in horrible,
murder.
disgusting.
Yes.
Oh, sure. No, she's still very much alive. But yeah, she claimed it apparently, and you can't see the music video anymore. It's pretty bad. But so we know a little bit about these two, and at this point, most people are probably like, okay, where's the true crime part? Where's the crime? We've got this kind of quirky couple with. Oh, what happened? Are you okay?
It automatically started playing again.
The very visceral. It started playing again.
All right, we're good now. We're good now. Go ahead.
All right. So yeah, we've got this kind of quirky couple. We've got one pretty successful Russian guy with his tech startup stuff, and one well-meaning, intelligent, but very bad at rapping woman. So let's spill a little tea. Back on August 2nd, 2016, a well-known cryptocurrency exchange company in Hong Kong called Bitfinex suffered a pretty serious hacking incident. The sum of 119,754 bitcoins were stolen from various users on the site and sent to a virtual wallet in control of Ilya Lichtenstein. At the time, this Bitcoin would add up to anywhere in the ballpark of like 66 to 70 million dollars. The details on how this hack happened are a little on the murky side. From what I've seen online, a lot of people believe that it wasn't actually Bitfinex that was hacked, but rather they have this third-party company called BitGo, and I guess it's like this cryptocurrency wallet provider, like they provide the security in the wallets, and it was actually BitGo that got hacked, and it was sort of like it was hacked in order to illegally send these bitcoins to Liechtenstein's account. But the reason this is also murky is because Bitfinex and BitGo, after this hack happened, they kind of just ended up blaming each other. Bitfinex had claimed that it was actually impossible for users to lose their Bitcoin simply by hacking them, so it must have been something on BitGo's side since they're the wallet providers. But the BitGo CEO eventually tweeted and said, BitGo wasn't breached or hacked in this incident. Bitfinex had a major breach across multiple systems and people. So, when news of this hack and the subsequent theft of all that Bitcoin got out, the value of Bitcoin dropped by 20%. According to a video by Cold Fusion, after this happened, internet denizens and people that were really into crypto, they were keeping a really, really close eye on this stolen Bitcoin's blockchain, trying to see where it would end up, if they could sleuth who was behind this absolutely insane hack, and just trying to figure this nonsense out. Naturally, the criminals tried to launder the money, but with all eyes on the blockchain, they had to be so careful because this stolen Bitcoin was hot. They tried converting it into other forms of cryptocurrency. They had like all of these really complex automated computer programs that were designed to make seemingly legit-looking transactions to sort of hide where it was in the blockchain. They tried using the dark web to launder it. I think they converted some of it into like a $500 Walmart gift card in Heather's name. They did literal gold conversions. Unsurprisingly, they tried converting some of it into NFTs, because of course they did.
Because of course they did.
Of course they did. And they just tried a lot of really complicated transactions using fake identities to try to clean this money up and actually be able to spend it. But still, there's too much risk trying to launder this insane amount of crypto with everybody just laser focused on the blockchain of it. And ironically, sometime in 2017, Heather began to tout about how well Salesfolk was doing, her little cold email marketing company. And she was claiming that Salesfolk was generating somewhere in the realm of $65 million. And according to that same Forbes article I mentioned earlier, they said that they saw legit slides of a presentation where she actually made this claim. It wasn't just a rumor. They saw legit evidence that she was presenting this to companies. Funny thing about that number.
Yeah.
That number, 65, that's just about the exact amount that the stolen Bitcoin would have been worth in 2017.
Yeah.
Also, according to Forbes, former employees of Salesfolk were a little shocked to hear this number because they saw no possible way that the company could bring in that kind of money when they only had 5 people on staff at a time, with salaries between $10,000 and $30,000. So from 2016 to literally earlier this year, February 2022, somewhere in the range of like 80% of that stolen crypto just sat there in that same digital wallet. It couldn't be moved. They couldn't risk it. And you gotta understand how much this Bitcoin had grown in value. When the hack happened, we said it was estimated in somewhere in the ballpark of $66 to $70 million, right? In February of 2022, the Bitcoin in that wallet was worth over $4 billion. $4
billion?
Billion with a B. $4 billion worth of Bitcoin. So naturally, they wanted that bread. I mean, that's generational money. Your kids are going to be loaded for life. So they decide they're gonna try and start, getting this money out of there. And they set up a bunch of accounts at like legit crypto exchange sites like Alphabay in an effort to try and move this money around and eventually launder it safely into their accounts so they can cash the fuck out. Problem is, when they started moving all of that money around, all the movement in the blockchain would eventually lead the money right back to an account that was in control of, you guessed it, Ilya Lichtenstein.
Yep. But don't they know the number one rule if you're going to be a thief? Don't steal from the rich.
Yeah. And apparently, that account had like all of Ilya Lichtenstein's actual information on it.
Oh, goody. Good fucking job, moron.
Yep. And also, according to this video done by Patrick Boyle, remember how they converted some of that crypto into gold?
Yeah.
When you convert into gold, you have to give that the gold conversion place, you got to give them your home shipping address and a copy of your driver's license. And yes, Ilya gave them his home shipping address and his legit driver's license with his picture and all of his information.
Why did I expect better from a guy who looks like he moderates Wall Street bets?
Yeah. I believe some of these accounts also had Heather's actual real legit info too, so, you know, it wasn't too hard to link both Ilya and his wife Heather in the laundering of this stolen cryptocurrency. When their apartment was later raided with a warrant...
Yep, by the FBI.
Yeah, authorities found a lot of little goodies that implied that the couple was planning to flee to Russia. They found fake passports, burner phones, $40,000 in cash. All of this stuff naturally got with the few bitcoins that they were able to get out. Cold Fusion's videos suggest that the reason they were never able to actually flee to Russia was because COVID shut them down. They couldn't flee because they couldn't go to foreign countries because of all the COVID stuff. So they were kind of stuck where they were. They also got a hold of files saved to Ilya's computer and files that I guess were stored somewhere in the cloud that were decrypted. And when they decrypted all of these files, they found a bunch of wallet addresses and all of the access keys to these digital wallets. And of course, those wallets had a lot of that stolen crypto in them, which was immediately seized by the U.S. government.
When was this seized? What time was this seized?
It was seized in 2022, in February, early February. I think it was February 8th-ish.
Okay. Wait, when did the war in Ukraine start?
I assume that was also a big problem in them fleeing. I was going to mention that, like, with everything going on and just kind of going into Russia being a no-fly zone and all the war and all of that, it was also just impossible to flee to Russia as well. So there was no chance. But it seemed like Ilya and Heather were both. That was the goal. They were trying to get the fuck out of there with whatever money they possibly could.
Wait, I'm sorry. I need to read what Shai just posted. They had burner phones in a bag, which literally had burner phones written on it, and a list of fake passport ideas that was literally named fake passport ideas.
Yes, if you look up pictures, because they did post some of the FBI's findings, and there's a bag, and it just in Sharpie on the bag is written burner phones and fake passport ideas. Yes,
Bruh.
that is 100% true. Yep.
Bruh. Dude, oh my god.
Yep. So those digital wallets, like I said, were linked to the Bitfinex hack wallet where the money originated. And there was a little over $3.5 billion worth of Bitcoin that were in those wallets. Because they did manage to get some of the Bitcoin out before it was all like seized up. I guess they couldn't get all of it because I guess there was some computer program that did a shitload of transactions and made it it was impossible to actually trace where it went or how to find it. I think Ilya could still technically have access to it. And if he did have access to those 20,000-ish Bitcoins, I think, or how many got out, if he had access to them, that's worth somewhere in the ballpark of $1 billion worth of Bitcoin.
Even with it going down right now?
Ooh, good question. I don't know what it's currently at because it did just take a big hit, didn't it?
It's been tanking.
That's true. I'm not entirely sure how much it would be right now, but when I was looking stuff up on it, I think in February it might have been worth $1 billion, but I have no idea what it's worth now. I don't really do a lot of crypto stuff. It should be noted, however, that while the couple was arrested for conspiring to launder that absolute mad lad amount of money and trying to defraud the US, the two were never actually charged with the hacking of Bitfinex, which has led many to believe that the two of them weren't even the masterminds behind this hack, that they were just government patsies or something. But there's no evidence to support any of these wild claims, so I can't really go into it and the possibility or the potential of it, because there's just no evidence of it. And as of right now, Heather Morgan is actually out, and I think she's under house arrest on a whopping $3 million bail. And last I saw, there were talks of a possible resolution, aka plea deal, involved to maybe avoid a trial. Lichtenstein, however, was denied bail and is still sitting in a jail somewhere awaiting trial. Ilya did previously have a $5 million bail set on him, but that was overturned by a judge in Washington. According to Bloomberg, the reason Ilya's bail was denied is because he could potentially have access to some of those stolen funds that we mentioned earlier, the ones that kind of slipped through the crack and managed to evade the government. So they don't want him out on bail, possibly accessing $1 billion worth of Bitcoin and just like hightailing it to Russia or something. And apparently Morgan didn't really have access to all this stolen crypto, so she's less of a risk to just up and run for it, especially with her husband in jail, so they let her go on bail and then let her bail stand. And finally, Netflix has announced that they're going to be doing a little docu-series on these two and their little crypto Bonnie and Clyde act.
I hope they're not being interviewed. They're going to be interviewed.
Oh, they're absolutely going to be interviewed. At least Heather Morgan is going to be interviewed. And I bet you anything that they're going to get a camera crew into the jail and they're going to interview Ilya Lichtenstein. I guarantee it, dude. There's no way they don't.
Can I make a side note? Oh, you know
Absolutely,
what?
Absolutely, that's all I have. So you can comment all you want now.
Oh, that's the whole thing. That's everything.
That's the whole thing. Yeah.
Okay. First things first. Fucking idiots. Second thing second. I will not watch this documentary unless she raps in it. Then I will watch this documentary.
Oh hell yeah!
I want to
need
hear
some
it.
freestyle. Yeah.
And last but not least, maybe it's because I grew up in Southern California and therefore saw it the most, or what it is, or maybe because I've seen people go down this route before. But there is nothing that makes me like more sad / loathing than people who are like try their best to join the high class like hype beast wealthy LA San Francisco type New York like money type. And like I am fully I think of like the Paul brothers a lot when I think about that shit where you know you can't win an argument because you're just not smart enough, so you always have to fall back on more subscribers, more money, because it's all you've got, you know. That fucking picture of her with a $20 bill and the chopsticks makes me like livid. It makes me furious, like irrationally angry.
Yeah,
I hate these people.
It definitely made me cringe.
I am imploding. I have cringed so hard. I've turned into like a fission reactor. I don't even know science. You know our warp suck theory. I'm the one doing the suck.
You're the one getting sucked through the straw hole. Yeah.
I will never take someone showing off a wad of cash or someone holding up like a wad of money or anything like that seriously because it's so fucking vapid. It is
Oh yeah, absolutely.
so irritating.
Yeah, I 100% agree. Tracked from A to B, they lived as Bitcoin billionaires for a decade and failed to spend any of it. Yeah, they couldn't. It's too hot. And as soon as they tried to actually get the money out, that's when they got caught. So,
Oh, yeah, it's a good ending, but
yeah,
fuck them.
yeah. I think, what was it? Did they say how much they actually managed to get out of it, Shy? Like, because they had to live on what, like, oh, they had to live on. I think they only managed to get out like $144,000 or something. Yeah, somewhere in the ballpark of $100,000 was all they could get out, even though they were sitting on just this. They were sitting on billions of dollars at one point, but you couldn't get it out because you done goofed. You done.
I mean, if they were able to pull out 100K, like Shai says, like that's pretty good money, but that's not like living like Versace
for
Versace alligator bullshit. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's one very content, very nice year.
Yeah. I don't recall seeing how much she actually made from social media because she did pick up a decent following. I don't think she ever used her TikTok rapping career as a way to try and be like, oh yeah, this is where all the funds are coming from. This is why I have all this Bitcoin. Like, I don't think she ever used that to try to launder any of the money, though. I wouldn't put it past them to try. You could seemingly make it seem legit by being like, oh yeah, I made $1 million on TikTok. Look at all my crazy views.
You need
She needed $4 billion for embarrassment insurance.
Also, I don't think TikTok pays you dick.
Well, if you haven't, like, because I never looked at her TikTok. I'm not sure if it's still up. I don't know how many followers she has, but if you have enough, if you have enough followers on TikTok and you're bringing in bank, why would you need to defraud the U.S. though?
No, there's a lot of things that she could have done other way or otherwise, but it so stupid. Yeah. So stupid. How do you? It's always people. It's always the people who do this. It's always these incredibly like hollow, vapid people who try to take all these fucking photos of themselves with like fancy designer clothes and carrying it and showing off wads of cash on social media. They're always like, so often they're fucking criminals. Yeah. So often they stole something, or they're running like a drug thing or something. Like, oh my god, is that an album cover, Shy? Is that a fucking album cover?
Or maybe it was from their wedding.
Oh my god. The guy literally looks like he mods for Wall Street Bets. He Jesus.
I think the other part that's sad is it's because she came from like nothing, right? She came from this little town of Tehama that has like 500 people in it. She wants to break out. She wants to be better. She wants to experience the world. And then just like, I don't know if it was that desire to like make something of herself and show the naysayers wrong that just sort of leads her down this just awful path. And it's kind of sad. Started off with the intention of making it big, and then welcome to being Crypto Bonnie and Clyde, which I think is what people actually call them. It's the Crypto Bonnie and Clyde.
That's too good of a name for them.
That's fair.
Crypto
Razzlecon is fine.
Tweedledee and Tweedledum.
Crypto Tweedledee and Tweedledum.
I get the whole coming from less type thing, but it doesn't. I don't know. I feel like you've got to be some kind of self-absorbed person to end up being that way, whether you came from nothing or not.
Oh, sure. It definitely doesn't excuse anything. It's just, it sort of makes it a little on the tragic side, but yeah, definitely not excusable in any fashion.
I would put money down that if you did like a test to see if someone is a sociopath or not, and you put them under the lens of every TikTok rapper, I think you'd have interesting results.
I think you would have very interesting results. I would put money into a donation pot to make that happen, dude.
I like a case study.
Yeah, I would love to see that. Like, even if it turned out that like every TikToker was actually just fine, stable, whatever, the results would be so fascinating to look at from like a social perspective. I would put money into that pot, 100%.
Well, speaking of pot, shit.
Nice Dean Kamen, dude. Really. Oh man. Speaking of pot,
I should we? Nah, I'm done. No more. No more. No more attempts. I give up.
see you next week.